Joining us on the Daily, Paul Seegert. He's managing partner at PCS Advisers, a benefits consulting firm with 35 partner offices around the nation. Paul, thanks for joining us. What are you seeing as to why people are quitting jobs or not going back to work?
Well, we're getting feedback that would indicate there's a few factors involved. Certainly, locking everyone down and forced telecommuting has had an impact in that we sat everybody still for a long enough period of time that many of them said, I don't like what I'm doing, and I don't like who I'm doing it with. And they've reassessed how they're living their life, what they're doing to make their living. That's one factor that we get consistently in the feedback that we hear. Another would be the increased unemployment benefits, all the additional government programs that have cropped up, whether it be not being able to get kicked out of your apartment when you don't pay rent, having your student loans forgiven, enhanced unemployment, lengthened unemployment. All these factors.
Do you actually talk to a lot of people who admit that, saying, hey, I made more money being not at work than I do at work?
Well, the feedback we get is primarily from the employers themselves. And so we are getting that feedback from them, that they have employees who have a little bit more of a safety net. So they're making some decisions, or they're just saying, I'm going to drop out of the market for a while and pursue an entirely different career, or to try and get a better job, but they're not in the same position that they might have been prior, where they had to keep the job they had until they found the next one.
When you talk to the employers, do they ever say, or do they even know of how do these people make it if they're not at work? Does that ever come up?
It does make people, it does make scratch their heads, but some of them have figured out, there's the other factor too. Many of them now can work from anywhere. So they may have had a 2-income household in a big city that's a high cost of living area. Now they can work remotely in a lower cost community. And maybe one income plus government programs, they're living as well or better than they did before.
Right. But for the most part, the government programs have stopped, at least the bonus money. But CNBC did a study on the Great Resignation that I believe you looked into, correct?
Yeah.
What did their numbers say?
Well, we've got 4 million people in July that dropped out or
4 million.
Quits. 4.3 in August. I mean, these are numbers that represent about 3% of the workforce each month. I mean, it's incredible.
Wow. Are they expecting to see the same sort of numbers in September?
We are. It continues to rise. So we'll see when is this going to level off. It's actually picked up steam. And you see some analysts coming out saying, I think this is it. And then the next month is larger. We're continuing to set new records.
Do they have numbers for June as well? I mean, did we see 3 million and it's increasing at a certain percentage that we can start
June
to
was high. June was high as well. So it's slightly below July.
Man.
So we're seeing that it's continuing to increase 5 or 10%. Adding to that number each month. So at least thus far.
A couple weeks ago, I was talking about that we're seeing this degraded customer service, and the what appears to be the issue with it all is they don't have enough employees at work. So you're seeing it, at McDonald's to Macy's, that things just aren't what they were pre-pandemic. What are companies doing that they could offer to people to get people to come work for them or not quit?
Yeah, we're seeing it in our daily lives as well. I was talking to an employer who has a bunch of pizza restaurants, so they need delivery drivers. And that's a lot of Americans are seeing how it's impacting, just like you're describing there. I was talking to somebody here yesterday. They ordered a pizza, the 2-hour delivery time. They changed it to pick up and picked it up themselves in 30 minutes. And it's a direct result of what we're talking about. And this employer, who has employees all over the country, 2,000 employees that are doing in the pizza business, he's now considering for the first time offering what would be considered platinum level benefits for drivers.
At a pizza place, to be a pizza driver, and when you're talking platinum level benefits, I'm assuming you're talking about like 401k, dental, health.
That's right.
At a pizza place.
Right. And not just low-level health. We're talking really nice health coverage. So it's a very, it's a serious turn of events. This is the toughest hiring environment he's faced in 15 years. We're getting that feedback consistently. You have other employers, 9 or 10% of employers who are saying, we will not drug test. We will, if you want to, smoke marijuana recreationally, that's fine. We don't care. We just need you to come to work here.
Wow. This is,
and they're broadcasting that.
What an incredible turn of events. We're talking with Paul Seegert. He's managing partner at PCS Advisers. They're a benefit consulting firm. And when you bring that up, when you say, hey, we're not going to drug test, or companies will say, we won't drug test, we're not even going to hardly look into whatever background you have. Are companies just desperate now? Will they hire anybody? And does that mean that they're going to bring on less talented people, therefore all these services are still going to be affected?
I think there is that risk. And then how does it impact the rest of the process? Which you're going to have, they're increasing wages, which trickles down to increasing cost of the products.
Okay.
Right. So wages are being driven up. So real cash is being driven up, cash costs. And then also the costs of benefits are going up. They're asking us, what can we offer to attract more people or keep the ones we have? So they're adding in one common solution that's being added is additional mental health benefits. If they're in an industry that allows flexibility, they're saying we'll let you have a hybrid work schedule. You can work from home, you can work in the office, you can do a combination. What would you like? So that the tables, the power is, there's a lot of power in the employees' hands today.
Right.
And they're asking for more freedom. They're asking for more flexibility. There are benefits around kind of looking at adding pay to what used to be considered more FMLA type stuff, where you could leave your job to help a family member, but you're not going to get paid for it. They're looking at funding that.
Paul,
it's pretty incredible.
Paul Seegert, do you think that that's what people are really looking for, or benefits, or they just want more pay?
They're saying it depends on the age groups, but what we're seeing is that this is largely 30 to 45-year-olds. It's the biggest group of the quits are 30 to 5-year-olds in their mid
30 to 35.
30 to 45.
Oh, 30 to 45. Now, what I have seen is the biggest amount of people that are not going back to work is the hospitality industry or the food worker industry. Was that a June, July number, and now we're seeing a shift?
Yeah, we're seeing a lot in tech and healthcare too. Those are top industries as well.
Is the vax mandate
very highly skilled folks?
Right. Do the vax mandates have anything to do with that, or do we know that yet?
That's somewhat early, but in healthcare, I would say the early indications are that it is having some impact.
With all the rising costs of this, the better pay, the platinum benefits, like you said, this is going to cost a lot of money. How do companies survive this?
Some of them are absolutely full of fear when you talk to them. I mean, how much can you charge for a pizza?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Eventually,
and have people still buy,
right? Because I would think you'd hit a threshold where somebody'd say, you know what, I'll just get a loaf of French bread and make a pizza at home, something easy.
Right. We're going to make a grilled cheese tonight, kids.
Yeah. Instead of paying $70 for a pizza, which I throw out that number because it seems astronomical, but literally last night I bought a pizza and it was $45, which I just find insane. But
yep.
How does this ever end? How does it get fixed?
Well, we're going to find out. I mean, these are unprecedented times, and I think we are going to see that labor costs go up to attract people back into the workforce. And as some of the additional benefits are sunsetting, I think we'll see that there's some impact there. I know that there's plenty of experts that'll say government benefits didn't have any impact on this, but it's hard to find an employer who's dealing with this challenge that would agree with that. So I think as these things sunset, we're going to see that will have some positive influence on the whole situation.
And if this isn't fixed, if it's another round of people just quitting, and I don't know, people are doing their as I air quote side hustle and selling shakes or weight loss something online. Do we just see companies that are just closing their doors at this point, or does everybody scale down?
They have to adapt. Yeah, and you're seeing in certain industries, we're seeing they're figuring out more ways then to automate processes, more ways to do what humans did without them. And so then maybe it backfires. I know the counter argument is that this is good for employees. They'll be able to get paid more and so on. But sometimes what's good for you today can be tough for you tomorrow. If you force these employers, these employers are going to adapt. They will figure out how to survive. The best ones, the most innovative ones, will figure out how to survive. And if part of that solution is that they need you less, then it may backfire.
Paul Seegert, managing partner at PCS Advisers. You guys are a benefits consulting firm. If we got businesses that are listening right now and they want your help, you have a website they can go to?
PCSadvisers.com with an ERS at the end.
PCSadvisers.com with an ERS at the end. I appreciate you coming on today. You're a good guy, and I have a feeling I'm going to have to call you back. That we're not going to see the end real soon.
We sure aren't. We're in this for a while. Nice to talk to you.
Thanks, Paul.